Buying a home is an intimidating process, especially if you're a first time home buyer. What makes this process intimidating or overwhelming is the fact that as a home buyer, you're dealing with a lot of uncertainties about the property, about the price you're paying, and about your the ability to secure a mortgage. So these factors can make this process a little complex. So I've decided to break it down into three phases for you to understand it easily. So the first phase, you take a hard look at your finances because you need savings to make payment for the down payment, closing cost. And in this hot sellers market, you need to account lots of money for covering the appraisal gap. If you're not familiar with these terms like down payment, closing cost, or appraisal gap, I have other videos explaining these so that these terms do not scare you. So the first thing you do is look at the savings. Make sure you talk to a lender. Talk to a lender because they will ask for your documents like pay stubs, your income tax returns to verify your income, and they will look at your assets, your liabilities, and your credit score to make sure you are a credit-worthy home buyer. Make sure how much loan can be given to you. All these things will be taken care by the lender. As long as you provide the required documents, they will do their work to give you a pre-approval letter. A pre-approval letter essentially states that your background has been verified with respect to your income, your employment, your credit history, as well as your debt. So once you get your pre-approval letter, which states your mortgage amount, which you are qualified for, you can start the fun phase, the home hunting phase. The second phase is the home hunting phase where you start touring the properties with your realtor or without your realtor if you want to go into open houses and see the properties to get a feel for the properties in the market. So once you start touring the properties, you will learn to look at what to look for in a property, how to make an offer, is the property priced right, how much is it selling for. You get a feel for the market once you start looking at properties. So once you find a property that you like, and your realtor will guide you to make an offer for the property. In the second phase, you make an offer for the property, and once you get under contract, that is when your third phase starts. In the third phase, that is your offer to purchase has been accepted. Now you're under contract with the seller to purchase the property. This is the most important phase in the journey, the third phase, because up until this time, when you were looking at the properties and made an offer for the property, you operated with limited information about the property. You have information, you went to see the property in person, assess the property in person as much as you could, and you relied upon the disclosures from the seller about the property to make a decision about buy this property or not. But once you're under contract is when you actually do your proper due diligence, because you want to make sure this is the right property for you, and you want to make sure that you make a sound, informed decision to buy a property, because you don't know until you inspect a property whether there are any hidden problems with the property. So this phase, that's the under contract phase. The third phase is when you do the due diligence as a buyer. So when you buy due diligence, I mean getting the property inspected to your satisfaction. That is the most important part. Once you are satisfied with the home inspection part, then you hire an attorney to start the process of checking for the title. And parallelly, you'll have your lender, that is your mortgage bank, working on your behalf to make sure that they verify all the information provided about you. That is your background check. They'll be verifying your background check. That is your income, assets, liabilities, etc. at this point. Plus, they want to make sure that the collateral they are giving the loan based on, that is the property, has to be appraised. They have to make sure that the appraisal is conducted and the property is worth the purchase price. Plus, they'll have to make sure that property is insurable also. So these work will be conducted parallelly So this is the major phase. And once all these contingencies have been met, that is, the home inspection has been conducted and you're happy with the home inspection, property has appraised to the purchase price, and bank has assessed the value of the property and the insurability of the property, you're all set to close now. Closing is the final phase. That is actually when when this whole transaction comes to a grand finale. So on the closing day, that is when you bring your down payment, that is your portion of the purchase price. You get the money from the bank, and the seller gets his money, total money, from your side, your end, as well as from the bank side. And he gets his money, purchase money, and you get your keys. That brings it an end to this whole process. So it's not as overwhelming as you think it is, or I thought it was.
If you're considering a home sale or purchase in 2025, I invite you to reach out to me so I can learn about your unique needs. I can be reached at 860 479 2998.